I guess this video is an introduction to me and my journey into the sport for those who haven't heard it all before. I guess people know me as the person who took 2 hours off their marathon time. I went from my first marathon being 4 hours and 34 minutes to my PB of 2 hours and 34 minutes. I did that first marathon, it was London Marathon 2019, and I didn't have a sporting bone in my body. I didn't really have any sporting icons. Like the people I looked up to were the Kardashians. I'm just so pleased, like I look up to now, like Lucy Charles Barkley, like Ironman world champion. That's so much more of a valuable role model. I would walk school cross country in school. I really was lazy, and I was a bit of a terror of a teenager. I think I felt a bit lost. I had some health issues. I had a tumour and that was like really traumatic. Luckily it was benign, but I went through a lot of medical things. I was on steroids. I had so many like hospital treatments and appointments all the time. And this was during being a teenager or becoming a woman, and I completely lost my spark and my confidence. And I didn't really have a purpose. I never felt like I was the best at anything. I wasn't like sportingly gifted. I wasn't the cleverest. Whereas my brother was, like my brother Toby is one of the best people in the world, but he is just like golden bollocks. Like he was like all the school sports captains, he was prefect. He's just the kindest, most intelligent person. And obviously my parents are incredibly proud of him. But I think if I was psychoanalyzed, the reason I got into running and fell so in love with running is it was the one thing that he didn't like doing and I loved, and I was suddenly really good at it. And I kind of claimed that as my thing. And then suddenly my parents changed their phone background to a picture of me at the end of a marathon. And I was like, oh wow, like I'm getting recognized. And I think I needed that at that point in my life. When COVID lockdown hit, I, like so many people, was really struggling. And I remembered the endorphins and how proud I felt at the end of that marathon. And I was like, I need to feel something again. So I put on my trainers and I went for a run. And I've basically not stopped since. I realized that running didn't have to be hard, running didn't have to be painful. It became this escape for me, my mental health miles. I also thought I would never be a runner because I hated solo sports, but I realized the people that you're actually running with, you're not running against. You are all working to be a better person and better yourselves. And I just found my people. We are going to be documenting my year of training this year, and it's going to be a different year. My first aim is Tokyo Marathon, which is in 5.5 weeks now, which is really scary. And then I'm going to transition over to triathlon and do some more biking and swimming. I love triathlon being new and exciting, and the leaps I made when I got into running and this like crazy progression I want to see in cycling and swimming. And it's almost humbling me being right back at square one again. Swimming I'm really bad at, and I'm actually enjoying it. I'm having swimming lessons, and I'm genuinely one of the worst swimmers I know.
Like drops down. See that? Watch your head, like your whole body's dropping.
Cycling, I've always quite enjoyed. I like being able to explore on my bike. Running used to be that for me, and now my training has to be so dialed in. It's just laps at Battersea Park, and I don't do as much exploring as I would like, especially being in London. I don't like leave London on foot because it's a long way to go. Whereas you can get on your bike and you can be in like the Surrey Hills, you can be out in Windsor. I'm also just like looking forward to learning a new skill. and bikes are really beautiful. And as I said, like my actual role model is Lucy Charles Barkley, and she's like the biggest inspiration to me. I feel like a lot of women are celebrated for something other than what they've achieved. So you can be an amazing female marathon runner, but the headlines will be, she's an amazing female athlete whilst being a mum, or she overcame this, or I don't know. Whereas Lucy Charles Barkley has always just been celebrated for her amazing athletic achievements, which is how we celebrate men. So I think we should celebrate more women like that. But yeah, I've met Lucy a few times and she's just so hardworking, and I think I can resonate with her a bit, like just being not that naturally gifted, but just really hardworking and getting the results from putting the hours in. And I don't know where triathlon could go. The swimming would have to improve, but I've got an engine, I've got a base, I know how to work hard. I've got some amazing role models, coaches, people that can help me. I don't think I'll be one and done in Ironman. I'm really looking forward to documenting the whole journey from marathon runner to hopefully Iron Woman. I think there are so many amazing, inspirational men documenting their journeys in, endurance sports, and there are less women. And I just want to be like the girl next door that people can relate to, trying to get into the sport, but also I hope I have that angle of bridging the gap between sub-elite as well, and almost being able to train like a pro, but learning, all the foundations again, and hopefully just showing what can be done if you put in the hours work, like I did with running, and hopefully people can come along on that journey with me, because especially Ironman, it's such a male-dominated sport. I think it's a shame, but I'm really looking forward to hopefully getting more girls into it. I've wanted to get into triathlon for a really long time, but I've always been really nervous about it. One, it was a big jump, and two, it's just there's so many barriers to entry, especially for females, and it's quite inaccessible sport. And running, you only need a pair of trainers. I mean, now obviously there's so many gadgets and things that everyone tells you need, but you don't. Like that first marathon, I had a pair of trainers and wired headphones. I guess I want to acknowledge that I'm really lucky and in a really privileged, fortunate position that I have a foundation in endurance sport. I have amazing brands that I work with and great opportunities. So I do have great kit, which I'm lucky for, and it will really help my training. But I want to show that triathlon you can do with a bike that's not that much more expensive than carbon shoes. You can get things off Facebook Marketplace, secondhand things. I think the important thing is taking the plunge and not being too scared. It's not as intimidating as it might seem. There's loads of men in lycra, but there's also loads of young girls just putting in the hours work and really enjoying the sport. And I think that's the most important bit. All of my opinions and documenting this journey are all going to be completely neutral, and I'll tell you what's worth the money, what's not, and hopefully lower the barrier to entry, especially for girls, and give women a space in triathlon. I guess this has just been an introduction to me, and hopefully you all know me a little bit better. I'm really excited to bring you all on the journey throughout this whole year. So many exciting things planned, races, events, vlogs. But the next video is a 10K run-through event that I actually raced yesterday. So that'll be out next week. So subscribe, comment, all those good things. And thank you so much for watching. Tune in to see how that race went. Bye!